Hello and welcome to Barnstable Today. I'm Len Gobeil. The Executive Director of the Hyannis Main Street Business Improvement District, Elizabeth Werfbane, was one of our guests on Barnstable this morning, and she presented an optimistic look at this year's summer season. Elizabeth commented on what appears to be a very busy Main Street.
Really busy on Main Street because the weather's been great. It's been dry, not too hot. Those really hot days are not necessarily good for Main Street because people want air conditioning or the beach. And when it was too hot for the beach, I think they went to air-conditioned locations, like dark movies. And we've been benefiting from, perfect strolling weather.
It's been good, and I don't get around Main Street a lot after 7 o'clock at night, but it's my understanding that there have been a lot of people around and walking up and down. And the very important thing that somebody told me many years ago, it's not so much the fact that there's a lot of people walking around Main Street, but they're all carrying bags, which means that they're going in the stores buying.
Yeah, that's true. They are walking around with bags, and they're eating. They're eating. And and going out to to hear music. They're having ice cream. They're taking part in the economic community. And I heard recently, actually it was yesterday, I was in the West End alley, and this whole group of girls with a mom came rushing to the alley, and they said to the mom, "We're going to go to every store on Main Street today." And it was really cute, and they were so excited. They probably were teenagers pent up in some rental house, and they've been looking forward to this all week. That was a really nice feeling.
She then told us about the art fair, which was held on the Hyannis Village Green over the past weekend.
Well, it's called Castleberry Arts Fair, and Terry Mullen, she's the organizer. She has a juried art group of about 99 crafts people from all over the country, but primarily New England. And they travel, and they go and visit different places like, the Berkshires and the coast of Maine and Cape Cod. And they haven't been to Hyannis yet, and they really were interested. Last year we had Paragon Arts Fair in town, and it was much more high-end. The average piece of art was $1,200 last year. And this year the average piece of art is about $80, And so, there's some really great things that are over $1,000, and then there's some nice, cute little things like sea glass, a sea glass ornament, for $15. So I think it's more maybe in tune with the customer base we have.
Yeah. So it went well. It went well.
I was really happy to see it was packed, and she was really happy when she left, and she said she'd like to come back next year.
Our finance director, Mark Mill, gave us a brief overview of the 2012 budget reconciliation.
Len, we just finished our fiscal year 2012 on June 30th, and the finance operations are busy closing the books, as we say, in the financial world. And going through that process, we were just reconciling all our revenues to see how we came out compared to what we estimated revenues to come in at in fiscal year 12. And in every category of revenue that we have, we actually exceeded our budget estimate. A very strong year for revenues in 2012 for the town, which is a good sign. We might see, the corner here, finally turning the corner here as far as having some revenue growth return to the town. But we're a little cautious right now. We don't know how this is a little tenuous with the way the economy still is.
Sure. Most of these are pretty cut and dried. The fees are up. I'm looking at the licenses are up. What are the licenses? Can you explain that a little bit more for our audience?
Yeah, most of the revenue in the category of what we call licenses are alcohol beverage licenses. Every establishment that serves alcohol in town on an annual basis has an alcohol license that they have to renew, and that's really the main component of that revenue category in licenses.
It just occurred to me that you have a good friend, three good friends on the licensing board, because they keep approving more and more liquor licenses. And
I don't know if that's good or bad, Len.
well, when I look at the sheet of paper, we're up $43,357, so that's a good thing.
Yeah, we exceeded our budget estimate in that category. Some of the other surprising areas that we didn't expect was in the area of permits. We exceeded our budget estimate in 2012 by over $400,000, and most of the revenue in that category are building permits. What we're seeing is an extraordinary issuance in the amount of building permits that are being taken out by residents. But what's interesting is most of those permits are associated with renovation or repair work and not new building growth. So while we're seeing a lot of new permits being issued, and we're collecting revenue from the issuance of those permits, it's not translating into new property tax growth because most of it's not associated with new construction.
Talk about good news, bad news. That's where that stands. The good news is a lot of people are renovating and redoing their houses, and I guess it's good news instead of good news, bad news. And the other side of that coin is there are no more huge tracts of land that are available for people to build another 500 houses or 300 houses as we had in the late 70s and early 80s.
Yeah, those days, those days are gone. But what we do have, we're trying to manage, in a responsible and a way that that provides smart growth, as they say in the industry. But it does indicate that perhaps people's confidence in the economy is turning around if they're starting to invest money into their homes, and perhaps are also investing money in new vehicles because, as you can see, our excise tax revenue is also up. We exceeded that budget estimate by over almost $600,000.
That's $500,000. People buying new cars.
Yep, that's what it means. It definitely looks like people are starting to buy new cars again. Which is a positive sign, but the depreciation on those cars under that excise tax billing system is very quick, and so unless they continue to buy new cars every year, we see this revenue category decline sometimes. So we have to be cautious about estimates going forward. We did increase our revenue estimates for many of these categories in fiscal year 2013 as we were projecting these revenues to come in higher than what we budgeted in 12.
Right. I'm continually amazed, as a former advertising guy, at the number of ads that you hear on the radio and the ads that you see in the local magazines and newspapers for new cars, and it never stops. They keep coming up with new ideas for, here's a new sale. This is definitely going to end on June 30th, and on July 1st they start with a new program, and it's doing the same thing over again. So apparently, at least in the town of Barnstable, it's working pretty well. Those excise taxes are up, as you suggest, $586,000. It's working.
Well, you see, our local car industry is doing a lot of renovation work to their facilities as well, and they're moving around, renovating buildings, and I think that's a sign that the industry is turning around. So it's if the finance, most new vehicles you can finance at 0% these days, and so the loans you're taking out on these things are interest free. So you're using the manufacturer's money essentially to buy the car. So it's a nice incentive. So people, I think, are with those financing deals, people are and the rebates that they're offering, people are starting to replace those old vehicles.
Mark was also impressed by the growth in excise taxes, which seems to indicate our residents here in the town of Barnstable are buying more automobiles.
Well, you see, our local car industry is doing a lot of renovation work to their facilities as well, and they're moving around, renovating buildings, and I think that's a sign that the industry is turning around. So it's if the finance, most new vehicles you can finance at 0% these days, and so the loans you're taking out on these things are interest free. So you're using the manufacturer's money essentially to buy the car. So it's a nice incentive. So people, I think, are with those financing deals, people are and the rebates that they're offering, people are starting to replace those old vehicles.
For our Barnstable Today, I'm Len Gobeil.